What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down one press release move that I feel all wide receivers need to learn to get separation against any kind of press coverage and a physical DB. So I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it teaches you a few new things, but also if you guys would like a 50-minute long video on 20 different press releases you can learn when to use them and then drills to work on each one, check out that very first link in the description below for our premium 20 press release video. So it's over 50 minutes of content, all based on how you guys should use press releases, the technique behind them, when to use them, and then drills for each one. So check out that very first link below if interested, fellas. Let's get started with this video. So first release that we are going to be talking about today is called a split release. So what is a split release? I think this is something that's used by a lot of people, but not used the right way and not used in the right situation. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So if I got a DB, I like this split release when I have head up press. So not a specific leverage. He's not shaded to the inside. He's not shaded to the outside. He is in head up press. That's when I like to use this. So, and I'm not saying that you couldn't use it against a leverage, but I feel like we could use something better against an outside or an inside leverage DB. The split is great, and we're going to explain why and how you can react to a DB. But let's talk about the technique first. So the technique is you're pretty much, it's exactly how it sounds. You are bringing your feet together and essentially splitting your feet. So your front foot goes out and your back foot comes up. That's literally all it is. So you see Justin Jefferson here. Front foot goes out, back foot comes up, and you get to a position of balance. You want both feet completely in the grass. Now, why do you want both feet in the grass? Because that's a position of balance. If you got both cleats in the grass and that DB were to get a hand on you, you would have more balance as if only one foot was in the grass, one foot you're on your tippy toe, or both feet you're on your tippy toes. You want both feet down. Now, the mistake that a lot of guys will make is that when they do this split release, they won't get their base. So what they'll do is they'll try to do this split, but that front foot, you see how Jefferson's foot goes out? It won't go out. Their foot won't go there. It'll just stay in place almost. It'll move like half an inch to the left. And so when you do that and your base is super narrow and this DB gets hands, what do you think is going to happen? I'm going to get jammed because I don't have a strong base. You have to get your feet in the grass, but you need a strong base when you do this split release. Come to a position of balance. You almost want to think of it like you were standing on a surfboard. When you're on a surfboard, are your feet super close together? No. Are your feet super far apart? No. They're about maybe just outside of your shoulders because that's a position you could push from. Now, another mistake that guys will make when you do this split release is that they will pop their pad level straight up in the air. So Jefferson, when he does this, you guys want to think of it like there's a small doorway over the top of your head. And if you pop up, if you go up with your release, you're going to hit your head on the door. You want to just simply split your feet and stay in a low explosive pad level spot. Because now when I got good pad level, I have a good base, my cleats are in the grass. If this DB does throw hands, I'm not screwed. I'm not going to get jammed 5 yards back. I'm not exposing my chest. I can just stay low and drive up into the route. You see how this DB sits? We push off of that foot, and I'm able to go and take this inside release. So that is the mechanics of the split release. So now let's talk about when to use it. I'm going to play this thing full speed. Great job by Jefferson freezing that DB and then being able to break off to the inside. One other thing, fellas, before we show this clip from Jamar Chase, make sure that there's kind of a hesitation element to it. Don't rush it. This is not a rushed release. You're not taking a bunch of steps. You have time to commit to it. So make sure that you guys are patient with your feet. You freeze them, and then you leave them, okay? So now, next clip here, we're looking at Jamar Chase work this split release. So now, the main thing I want to say is that on a split, it's such a great release, I feel, because you can get a read on this DB. That is why I like it when he is head up in press. Because, like, you guys know this, especially if you're familiar with this page. Think about it from a DB perspective. He's inside shade. Like, let's say he's lined up to the inside. What is he trying to take away there? He's trying to take away the inside. He wants to force you outside. The sideline is this next defender on this thing. So that's where he wants you to go. He will not give up the inside. So why do we need to do a split release? Why not just, like, attack him inside, actually step into his frame, give him a crossover, whatever it might be. Same thing when he's outside shade. He's lined up outside shade. I know he's trying to force me inside because he probably has help over there. So I would want to attack him outside. Let's try to threaten him where he doesn't want me to go and then go. But when this DB is head up, I don't necessarily know what he's trying to do. I can make probably an educated guess based on the coverage. Maybe there's no safety help. You don't see a safety inside, so you're thinking, okay, it's probably cover 0. All right, he's probably trying to force me to the sideline. But we still don't know. Maybe he's going to walk down and press, and maybe he's going to kind of get into a motor technique where he bails back, right? He's trying to watch my hips, and he bails a little bit. We don't know. So the split release is a good way to react to him and trying to get a read on him. But it's going to happen fast. And this is something that you have to train. So when Jamar Chase does this, he does this split. You could tell with his feet because of where his base is. So his feet are wide. Now this DB shades a little bit to the outside. Okay, fine. I want to take what he gives me. I'm going to take the inside release. I can't force the release to a DB's leverage. So many guys get so caught up in, okay, I'm going to do the split release and I'm going to take an outside release. It's like, but what if he takes away the outside? You have to be able to react. Maybe you're running a route, like let's say Chase is running like let's say he's running like a 10-yard out, for example, and you got press and you know that the DB that you're going against likes to do head up press. So you're thinking, all right, I'm going to go split release. Ideally, we would like to take an outside release on an out route. But let's say you do the split release, you want to go outside, and this DB shades to the outside. He takes a step outside. He's taking away the outside. If you force the release into his leverage, he's just going to get hands and squeeze you to that sideline. So if he sits outside, take what he gives me. Because when it comes to getting off of press, it is all about maintaining timing with your QB. Can I keep timing with him? Because that DB's goal when he wants to get hands is to screw up timing. So if I can avoid that, not necessarily run away from him, but if I can avoid that and get up into the route, I keep timing and my separation comes at the top of the break. So fellas, this split release is all based on reaction. Like Chase is doing this split release here and like he's taking an inside release. Let's say he's running like a dig. If that DB were to do the opposite, and let's say you do this split release and you freeze him right here, but he jumps to the inside, okay, fine, I'll take the outside release. I have a plan for what I can do at the top of the route, whether that's restack, whether that's throw by, whether that's maybe lean into him a little bit with an outside release, whatever it is. But fellas, make sure when we use that split release, we are doing it off of reaction. That's why I like it against head up. I'm not saying you couldn't do it against inside shade, but when he is head up, I like the split because we can get a feel for him. But you have to make sure your mechanics are correct. That's why it's so important that we rep these releases constantly, over and over again. So I have the technique down and I know when to use it. If you can master those two things, technique, when to use it, it's very, very tough to guard you. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time, and then we'll talk about how you guys can use this against a physical DB or why it is a good release to use against a physical DB. So now, this next clip from Justin Jefferson, got a DB who jams him right off the line. So I like this split release against an over-aggressive guy in this exact situation when you can't do a step back release. So when you have a DB who lunges at you, one of the key things that, all the receiver coaches teach, all receivers say is that, when a DB is going to jam you, just step back off the line. Like do like a little jump back, make him lunge at you, he's off balance, then go up into the release. But what happens if it's a bunch formation or a stack formation? And if you take a step back, you're running into your other receiver. You got to have another plan of action. And I'm personally not the biggest fan of a step back release, but sometimes it works. But I like the split a little bit better because I feel you can get better like explosion off the ball, if you will. So we watched this clip from Jefferson. What does he do? This DB lunges, he splits. But because both cleats are in the grass, he's in a good, strong base. Look at that forward lean with his pad level. This is an explosive position. Look at this DB's position. That is not an explosive position right there. His feet are too wide. His toes are pointed open. He's very front heavy. If I'm in a good pad level position, I got some balance. So what if he gets hands on me? I could just shrug it off because I have a base. I have a good I have good posture. I have good balance, and he's off balance. That is why I like that split release against a physical guy. But you cannot pop up when you do it. That's where a lot of guys go wrong. They'll listen to that. They'll do it. They'll come up to the line. They want to do the split. But instead of staying here, they will stand straight up. And when you stand straight up and that guy gets hands, you will be knocked back 5 yards. You look foolish. So we have to make sure I do this split. I get to a position of balance. So if that DB wants to shoot hands, fine. I'm still in a position where I could get up into the route and maintain timing with my quarterback. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Jefferson using that split release, getting off the physical jam, getting up to the landmark of the break, and then winning on that corner route. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Always appreciate the feedback. Always great to hear from you guys as usual. And again, fellas, if you'd like a 50-minute long video on 20 different press releases, when to use each one, and then drills for each one, check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.